Have you ever been down on the 9 and something like that happened to you? Well, whether it's intentional or unintentional, we've all been sharked at some point in our pool playing career. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can make your game shark-proof, so when something like that happens to you, you can get back down and pocket the 9. So stay tuned, guys. Hello, I'm Master Instructor Anthony Beeler, and welcome to another episode of Do You Want to Play Like a Pro? This week, I'm happy to announce that we're nearing 8,000 subscribers on our journey to 10,000 subscribers. If you haven't gone to poolteacher.com and registered for our big giveaway, don't forget to do so. We're giving away all sorts of wonderful prizes when we reach 10,000 subscribers, and you don't want to be left out. So go to poolteacher.com, click on the YouTube giveaways button, and fill out the form to get registered. I'd also like to take just a moment and congratulate David Herring for winning the Alan Hopkins Life of Pool book by submitting his video to our breaking contest. He was the overall winner. He had the overall highest score, and so now he's the recipient of our book. So congratulations, David. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make your game shark-proof. If you've ever been down on the 8 ball or the 9 ball and someone's walked in front of you and distracted you or done something intentional to make you miss the shot, then I'm going to show you some mental game tips and techniques that are going to help make your game shark-proof. So let's go to the table and see what that looks like. It was the early 2000s and I was in the finals pitted against local legend Nickel Jack Good. Jack was an interesting character. He wore nickels in the crevices of his ears to block out any sounds that he might hear. He was very interesting. It was heel-heel. I was in the finals. I got down to pocket the match-winning ball to win the championship. And as I pulled back to deliver the stroke, I heard a loud crash. And at first I thought Jack had done something to intentionally shark me. It wasn't Jack's fault at all. A gentleman by the name of Buford had fallen asleep, had fell off his bar stool into a pinball machine, and had broken the glass out of the pinball machine and had to be rushed to the hospital. That's what I call unintentional sharking. And I'm happy to say that I made the right choice. I didn't shoot the shot from there. The first thing that you've got to understand is when you're sharked, you get back up and you start your pre-shot routine over. And the first time you get down, it may seem a little uncomfortable. If you're thinking about being sharked and, oh my goodness, this has happened to me and woe is me, then you should get back up, regroup again, and not shoot until you're ready. So, first of all, you've got to restart the process, restart your pre-shot routine, and the second thing you've got to remember is don't shoot till you're ready. And that's a classic example of unintentional sharking. I've never had anything like that happen to me, even remotely like that, since then. But there's lots of unintentional sharking that goes on. You might be in a pool room and a kid might walk in front of your pool table as you're getting ready to deliver an important shot. Again, follow these 2 steps. Reset and don't shoot until you're ready. That's extremely important, and if you do that, you might be sharked by the situation, but you're going to be making your game shark-proof when you get back up, you start over, and you deliver that important shot and you pocket the ball. And just as there are instances of unintentional sharking that goes on, there's also lots of instances where intentional sharking goes on. I played in the finals of Shannon Dalton's All-Star Billiards Tournament in Somerset, Kentucky. And it was a great event. It was perhaps the finest tournament in the state at the time. Lots of pro players were playing in the event. And I worked my way into the finals against a top local player. And the gentleman was notorious for being slow. Every time he would play in a 9-ball game, he would turn a 5-minute 9-ball game into a 20-minute affair. And that's probably how he made it to the finals. He sharked his opponents game after game after game, putting the moves on his opponent with incredibly slow play. You can't let something like that bother you. You've just got to focus on your pre-shot routine. Don't worry about the score. Don't worry about what your opponent's doing. When you come to the table, focus on the process. Focus on your pre-shot routine. When you see your first shot, use the pass formula. Look for potential problems. Determine the angle, speed, spin necessary to execute that shot. And then execute the shot subconsciously. Get your distance, lock your eyes in, get down to your stance, take a couple of practice strokes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get up and start the process over. That's all you can control. You can't control how fast your opponent plays. All you can control is the process. So don't try to control things you have no control over. If you try to control it, it becomes a sharking mechanism for him, and it gives him an advantage. In that very same tournament, it went heel down to the very final ball. And I had a long diagonal shot on the 9-ball from corner to corner of the table. The longest shot that you could have on the table. I got down to shoot the shot, and my opponent had his cue in front of the pocket I was getting ready to shoot the 9-ball into. And not only did he have his cue there, but he had a container of Johnson & Johnson's baby powder, and he was putting powder up and down the wrap of his cue and flicking it, sending dust up into the air. He knew exactly what he was doing. This is a classic example of intentional sharking. And so do you know what I did? I got up off the shot. I walked around to the other side of the table, right in front of him, and I said, Ben, are you about done with the wrap? Because when you're done sending smoke signals, I'm going to shoot this shot. I want you to let me know when you're finished. He quietly got in his chair, he put his cue away, and he did not do that anymore. The first time I got down, it was in my head. So I got back up. The second time I got down, it was still in my head. I got back up. But the third time I got down, I delivered a straight, smooth stroke to pocket the 9. And that's what you have to do too. As long as you are thinking about that, you are being sharked. And so you've got to get up, you've got to do whatever you need to do to compose yourself and deliver the shot. And again, from one of the previous videos you may recall, I talk about sliding my bridge hand into place and feeling of the cloth. Well, that puts you in the present moment. Negativity comes from experiences from the past or fear of the future. You need to do that as you go to deliver the shot. You can't be worrying about the past. He may have sharked you 2 minutes ago, but that's the past. Once that's done, you've got to play in the present moment. And so when you can put yourself in the present moment to deliver that shot, you're going to be more successful than ever before, especially in a shark situation. and you'll be able to pocket the 9-ball just like I did that day. I can recall another time when I was intentionally sharked. I was playing in the semifinals of another huge tournament here in Kentucky, and my opponent, when he went to rack the balls, he would intentionally split the 2 back balls behind the 9-ball. He did that to keep me from pocketing the corner ball, and he did it over and over and over again. I was getting a slug rack. I noticed that a couple of times, and I went back there and I confronted the player, and I said, "Why can't you freeze the 2 balls behind the 9? "Well, man, I just can't get the rack to freeze. This is a bad rack. Let's try another rack." "Well, I still can't get them to freeze," he said. Well, again, I can't control what he's doing. And I'm thankful to say that now we live in a time where most people rack their own. But during that time period, we didn't rack our own. And so I remember telling my opponent, "Well, if you can't get them to freeze, then I can't either." That's all you can do in instances like that. You know, if they're going to shark you, if they're going to put you at a disadvantage, just tell them if they can't get them to freeze, then you won't be able to either, because the equipment is the same for you as it is for them. So that was my answer to that. Don't let someone intentionally give you a slug rack when you're giving them a good rack. If they do that to you, just return the favor. And what's interesting about that situation is this. The owner of the pool room saw we were discussing the rack, and he told us that since he was the director of the tournament, he was going to rack the balls for us. And then I got a huge surprise. He split the 2 back balls behind the 9-ball on me as well, and he gave my opponent a good rack. And come to find out, the reason he was doing that was because he had a piece of my opponent in the Calcutta, which is another interesting story. But sometimes you just have to do all you can do, and sometimes there's a no-win situation, but you can't carry that with you for weeks. Pool is a very imperfect game. The table will sometimes roll off. The balls are not perfectly round. Sometimes when you break the balls, if you're playing 8-ball, all your balls end up in a cluster, and all your opponent's balls end up in front of the pocket somewhere. So you can't let it get to you. All you can do is control how you play and whether or not you followed your process. So you need to get out of the habit of evaluating your game on whether you win or lose. Evaluate your game on, at the end of the tournament, how well did I follow the process? How well did my mechanics hold up? Sometimes you're dealt a hand of cards that you just can't win with. And the sooner that you understand that some games are just not meant for you to win, the sooner you understand that, the sooner your game moves up a notch. You can't control the cards you're dealt. You just have to deal with them the best you can. And it's not meant for you to win every game. It's not meant for you to win every match. And it's certainly not meant for you to win every tournament. Once you can get past all that, your game will go up a notch. And you won't carry burdens like that with you for 2 or 3 weeks. And you'll be able, the next time that you play, to just go in and play your best. And sometimes you might play an opponent who sharks you by saying that you're sharking him. You might be sitting perfectly quiet in your chair, and then as he gets down to deliver the shot, "Oh my gosh, your cue moved." Did your cue move? Probably not, but he thought that it moved. He's using that move to get inside your head. Again, you can't control what your opponent does. You can't control what he thinks. You can't control what he says. All you can do is take control over the process when it's your turn at the table. Don't let that get in your head. Play in the present moment. As you go to deliver that shot, feel the cloth and follow your pre-shot routine. Step one, get your distance, lock your eyes in, take a couple of practice strokes, and then deliver that shot the way that it was intended to be delivered. And when playing one of these individuals who continually accuses you of sharking, I'm often reminded of the great words of Minnesota Fats, who said players like that should be told to play in a wax museum. And then if somebody moves, you better get out of town. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Do You Want to Play Like a Pro? I hope this video on making your game shark-proof will improve your pool game. The next time you're down on the 9-ball and someone does something to distract you, use our strategies that we've listed here today. Don't forget to go to my website, poolteacher.com, and get registered for our big giveaway. We're only a few weeks away from reaching 10,000 subscribers, and you don't want to be left out on all our wonderful prizes. Again, go to poolteacher.com, click on the YouTube giveaways button, and get registered for your chance to win. Thanks again for watching, and I hope everyone has a great week.
It's just one of those amazing classes that you can never forget. It's one of those classes that can really get you going where you want to go with the game.
It's the best online course on pool out there.
It's been really cool working with Anthony from home. I have already learned so much.
I love the course. It is easy to use and available 24/7, which fits well with my busy schedule.
Luckily, I stumbled upon Anthony Beeler's online courses, so I signed up. And within 3 or 4 months, my game had improved dramatically.
It will definitely improve your game.
When I did go back to the regional tournament, finally after 7 years, I got first place. They bumped me up to the next division. I went back the following year. I got first place in that division the first year. I can't say highly enough how much Anthony's courses have helped me, and I have no doubt they will help you too. If you do have any questions, he's available on the phone calls. He answers your questions very quickly.
Someone asked me about Anthony Beeler's Virtual Billiard Academy class. Go all the way.